Texas Tech is simply built to beat Houston. I think if you were to create a team that's able to compete with the Cougars and beat them and take ownership of the Big 12, it's Texas Tech. Between Anderson, Toppin, and the shooting that they have around, even with guys like Lawan Watts who might not have the best of games all the time, this Tech team is just built to give Houston problems. When you have a point guard like Christian Anderson, and people might say, well, his point production is down from what he usually is against Houston. Yeah, but the assists are through the roof. The ability to handle those blitz and ball screen pressures, fine Toppin. You then have a big that can attack off the dribble, can penetrate, get to his spot, take his time, or he can just kick the shooters in the corner like Atwell and Petty. And that's what I think you get from this Texas Tech team. This game went very similar to how the game in Houston went. I think Tech just hit a wall there at the end. Kingston Flemings, who was fantastic in that game in Houston, was even better tonight. But specifically, Fleming at the end of that game in Houston kind of just took over, and Tech just had a couple different lapses. I think mentally and fatigued, they just kind of went. But this Texas Tech team is really good. And if they continue to play the way that they are, specifically on defense at times, I think they can be a team that gets to the Final Four. Tech was a team that a lot of people, I think, started writing off pretty early. That Duke game seems to really have flipped the script, and not even the Duke game entirely. The second half of the Duke game seems to be what flipped the script for them. They played really good basketball since then. They've got a win against BYU. They now are 1-1 split with Houston. They find themselves in second place of the Big 12. If they're able to beat Arizona, or Arizona falters a bit, and they have a really tough schedule to end the Big 12 conference, Tech could find themselves as the first place finisher in the Big 12 regular season champion. And with that, potentially a number one seed in March, which is crazy to say, to think of some of the losses that they did have early on and how rough it was looking pretty quickly. We did a watch along for this game as well as the Virginia North Carolina game, and it's so drastically different to see Big 12 basketball really versus any other power conference, but specifically the ACC. The Big 12 is an absolute movie, it's absolute scenes. And we were talking about on the live stream as well, does the Big 12 physicality in the conference almost hinder them a bit when we get into the Final Four in March Madness? Because you have crews from different conferences that are refereeing Big 12 teams who might be used to some things that are fouls in the ACC aren't fouls in the Big 12. I think it could kind of go twofold. I think defensively it could hurt you because you get away with a lot that you wouldn't get away with in certain other conferences. But then offensively, when you're used to playing through that physicality, you meet a team from the ACC or the Big East, you probably feel like you can dominate that game specifically on the offensive end. So it's interesting. Get your comments in on that. Does the physicality of the Big 12 help or hinder? I think it helps. I could hear some people making the case that it hinders. I get it from both sides. You guys let me know. Tech, Arizona, Houston, BYU. If Iowa State can get it together, I still think they're the fraudulence of the conference. That's just me personally. But this conference is extremely deep, is extremely good. The talent level is through the charts. And I still think Texas Tech bodes the best 1-2 punch in the conference with Toppin and Anderson. Really impressed by what I've seen from Anderson. 2 games now against Houston. Able to back dribble or negative dribble, depending on what you want to call it. Find the open guys, find the people across court, and Tech is just built. When they have shooters like that and a big that can pass out of the pick and roll, it's really difficult for them to deal with. And we saw that 55 points in the first half against Houston tonight, something that's never happened under the Sampson era. Really impressed by the Red Raiders. Wreck them. Guys, please get in the comments. Let me know what you think about this Texas Tech team as well as the rest of the Big 12. Please stay safe. Please stay warm. Basically, the entire country is being affected by this winter storm right now. Hit the like button to see the basketball. Hit subscribe to enter your name in the portal, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.